Good. Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the final program of the 5th annual BraveMaker Film Festival 2023. My name is Tony Gapistone, and I am the founder and executive director of BraveMaker. And it's been a great 4 days. Such a joy to, now I'm in the house, now you can hear me. Such a joy to do this. I am definitely exhausted, but our whole team has been celebrating and working hard behind the scenes, and we're going to definitely honor that at the 8 p.m. closing night party. So if you have not gotten your tickets, make sure you get onto your internet right now and get those tickets, because we got food and booze and food and a DJ and some other fun stuff. We're giving away 3 grants tonight and celebrating all of your work in really significant ways. Since we started this in 2019, we have always closed the festival with Bay Area made short films. So it's our tradition now. And since the very beginning, my friend Sean McCarthy, who's been doing Guerrilla Wanderers Media, can we give it up for Guerrilla Wanderers Media, has been doing all the behind the scenes video stuff, as well as Strathby Media Inc. and all the live stream team on the cameras. How cool it is that we're such a small little tiny film festival, but we have live streams, and you can see, I don't need to see my face that big, but you can see people big, and that's really cool. So thank you for all of our media partners. It is really cool to feel like, what'd you do? Oh, no, I don't want to see that. I did trim my nose hair, so I'm feeling pretty confident there. I just am really, really grateful, and the last program block has always been moderated by Sean, and I'm going to bring him up in a second. But as I said earlier, since Elizabeth Mitchell McCarthy died in June of 2020, we have now renamed this not only the Bay Area Short Film Program, but the Elizabeth Mitchell McCarthy Tribute Program. So every single film festival program at the end of our fest will be in her honor and in her spirit. And as I said earlier, Sean and I talked last year about creating a grant in her honor. And so we will bestow a grant. The very last thing we do before we go to the party is to tell you that one person in this room, a female producer, is going to be getting an award, because we want to put something in her honor to inspire female producers to keep going in her spirit. Okay? So with that, Sean McCarthy, come take it away. If you're a filmmaker tonight, come. We only have a few chairs, so you can share, and that's what we've done in the past. 2 people kind of like rotate. But Sean, come on up. Every filmmaker and actor, I think half the house might come up. That's fine. And Sean will moderate.
Thank you, Tony. Tony founded the festival, as you guys know. He's a talented director, an actor, writer. Let's give it up for Tony, because he's the one who starts the fire. He creates the community. He's not just the painter, but he is the museum curator.
You guys want to see?
Oh, yeah. Some people can even go behind.
Come get a seat. Are you sure? Okay.
So thank you guys. If you've been at the festival, before, you might have met me. You know Tony, you know a lot of the BraveMaker and Guerrilla Wanderers family. And maybe just start this off. And I know Nadia, you're hovering around there, and you're going to tell me when we have to go, but technically this part started a little later, so give me a little wiggle room. There's the 8 p.m. party, so invite your friends, come on out, let's celebrate and have drinks. But maybe just start this off, because there's many things to cover. And Tony, you want to do it, the grant at the end, after the Q&A, okay. So maybe let's start it this way. There's a tribe, and a young boy enters, and he sees the elder tribesman, a chief, and he says, "What's going on, chief?" And the chief says, "There's a battle." And the young boy says, "Where?" He says, "It's happening within." "What's happening within?" He says, "It's a tale of 2 wolves. There's the dark wolf and the white wolf, the light wolf." And then the boy says, "Who's gonna win?" And the chief says, "Whichever one I feed." And that one always resonates with me, because that's what storytelling is. It's a tribe, and a lot of the stories that are the internal story, right? The emotional, the spiritual, the mental, the external story, the physical embodiment the plot, if you want to say, the story is that, and they're all connective tissue. And so to see all these brave makers, Bay Area brave makers, right? Give it up for Bay Area brave makers. Get to tell these stories. And so, you know, and to thank Tony is a huge, not just a brave maker, the ultimate brave maker in telling stories, and not just telling his own stories and his courage and his vulnerability and his truth, but to shepherd, to foster. If we are all one big tribe, if we were all the cave people, cave he, him, he, her, they, them, cave people, we all have a different role. The engineers and the scientists figure out how to start the fire. The storytellers and the artists and the poet warriors share that story through music, through song, through painting, through tales, right? The fiscal managers make sure that the resources and the logs and the fire are all, and need more logs. Help with that. And so with that too, this is your opportunity in whatever way or form with BraveMaker to keep this going. I can speak to Tony and I can speak to the BraveMaker team that I know Tony inside and out, not inside out, that could be interpreted many ways. I know him in a way that he speaks his truth, whether it's one-on-one and nobody's around or the cameras are on. That's a special talent and it's a special skill. And just like we saw Dave's beautiful film on Ukraine and the art museums, we need those curators. We need that help. So if you can donate tonight, if you can help BraveMaker, you are helping plant those seeds as part of the tribe. Maybe you're a farmer, maybe you're a cultivator. You're planting that seed for other storytellers, for other poet warriors to have that. So Tony, is there a call to action for this? Is there a way that people can donate if they want to tonight?
Yeah, you can always go to bravemaker.com/donate. Otherwise, just text the one word BraveMaker to 44321.
44321. Does everyone have that? You want to write that down? 44321. If that's $1, if that's $1,000, if that's $1 million, because we're in the fucking Bay Area, do that. If you can't afford that, if the bills are tight, spread the word. Post a photo of this and let other people know where they can donate, right? Let them know where to text. Share that story because you're helping Tony, you're helping BraveMaker, you're helping all these filmmakers here. And you're planting more seeds and cultivating that fire. So with that said, because we have such a great group, this Bay Area squad, we're gonna go, here, can I grab this mic here? Let's go down over here. Let's start with Dave.
Well, hi, everybody.
Start with your film
Yeah.
and maybe why you did it.
The film we did was Art of Survival, and it is in process. I'll say that it is, and a lot of it is thanks to BraveMaker. BraveMaker is a fiscal sponsee for this project. They believe in these stories, these museum workers who have been displaced and are doing everything they possibly can to keep their museums and their art relevant and protected in a time where we know Russia is actively going after the culture of Ukraine. So yes, the project you saw, call it a teaser, call it the entry into this world from the footage we've been getting. And we're excited to continue to work with these people on the ground there. I have to tell you, it has been, it's been very impactful to work with them. We've learned how to work remotely over the pandemic and have had to direct remotely through the course of this project. And we are now working towards getting out there to finish the story and tell it right. So we thank you. We thank BraveMaker. We thank Tony for showcasing this project and for all the projects. By the way, what an quick round of applause for all the projects tonight. Like, come on, that was... The Bay Area has so much talent and so much support as evidence from tonight. So thank you all for coming out.
And Dave, real quick before you pass that mic, if you don't know about Dave Moutray's organization, the Bay Area Film Mixer, he's also another cultivator, another curator, another leader with Tony in this space. And why do you do that, and why were you motivated in the sense to tell stories in general?
I do it because, one, the stories are here. The stories are everywhere. And, you know, I think actually for those that had a chance to check out the workshop that Sean McCarthy did earlier today, it's a testament to what we try to do to get our authentic stories out, but also listen to the stories that are around us and do our best to give them service to where they need to go. But, you know, I think that's something that the Bay Area, and this relates to the Bay Area Film Mixer, what we believe in is supporting those artists that want to stay here, that want to create here, that want to employ other artists here, and, you know, to keep us all relevant. You know, I hate to say this, but there's an element to that we got to keep ourselves relevant. We got to raise the bar for the quality of work that's here. And I think that festivals like this, that, you know, BraveMaker is on that list of festivals that highlight some of the best work happening here with us, all of us here in this room, and all of us that really want to continue to keep the work here. So,
Thank you, Dave.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. My film is called Queer Science. It's the one with the tiny lesbians. If you want a tiny lesbian, I have some tiny lesbians up here. There's still some left in the vial. I'm lucky enough to be here with my mom and my wonderful cinematographer, Ryan Castaneda. Just happy to be here. I would give a few shout outs to a few things. Our team just finished our first feature film called Dead in Love. It's a bisexual a romance about a ghost that falls in love with an attractive couple living in her former home. You know, we're doing a lot of fun projects. We're shooting a lesbian mermaid film in August. If you want to be a PA, if you want to be a mermaid, it's Bring Your Own Tail. And we are doing a horror festival in August at the New Parkway called Blood and Popcorn. If you would like a free film waiver, please reach out to Blood and Popcorn Film Festival at gmail.com, and I will give you one. But happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Hey everybody, I'm Josh Rickert. I worked with Dave at Crookstrings Productions and was one of the producers on the Ukraine film. So I'll keep it pretty brief because there's a lot of people to get through, but yeah, thanks for having us.
Talk first, and then I'll hand it to you. Nader. So this is Nader. I'm going to read what he's written here. So Nader, and this is what he's written. I'm reading on his behalf, and I hope I do this justice. My film is faith. This film is a movie that God have put in my heart to make. And I saw it as something impossible in my situation. I am very thankful for everyone involved who helped me make this film, and I couldn't do it without them. I am grateful for my parents, for believing in me, because they provided me a mentality that I carry with me throughout. I am also thankful to Jesus for being my comforter throughout. When I was making the film throughout the process, I kept saying 3 words: I am able. And since we are at the BraveMaker Festival, I want to be brave and say these 3 words in the microphone with my own voice. I also want you all to be brave with me and say these 3 words: I am able, because I want you all to know you are able.
Hello. Hi. My name is Yan Dinh. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I am the co-writer and co-director of Love Me, the second short film. And it was just made under the Outfest Los Angeles Outset Filmmaker Fellowship. Oh, thank you. And everything that you saw, it was all shot under 12 hours. So that was,
Wow.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know how we went through it too. So, and unfortunately, my co-director Nick is in LA right now, and the actress Quinn cannot be able to make it with us. But I just want to big thank you to Nicolas Jara, my co-director, for helping me bring my story and just making it like turn it into a film and having other people relate to it. So, thank you.
Hi, I'm Ash Blodgett, and I wrote, directed, executive produced, and edited Good Grief. Thank you. I spent a lot of money. So the film is inspired by my own experiences with grief. In early 2021, my dad passed away unexpectedly. And being only 33 at the time, none of my friends really understood what I was going through. There was a pandemic, so it was extra isolating. And so I just wanted to, when I finally did get COVID and had time on my hands, I just sort of wrote this film. It just sort of flowed out of me, and it was just encapsulating my experiences and this idea that, finding someone else who understands your grief, because usually grief recognizes grief, and people who haven't gone through it just usually don't quite understand what's happening. And it's different for everyone. So that's my film. I shot it in 2 days, so I had more time. So thank you so much for watching it. Oh, and we had an all above the line female crew. I'm just shouting that out because that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Before you pass over the mic, can I just ask you a question with
Yeah.
that? With what was the nature as an artist? What did you feel in expressing your grief through your art and yourself?
Yeah, it was really weird for me because I'm usually a comedy director. And so I think that's why I found the humor in it and tried to make it funny. My dad was also funny, so I wanted to sort of,
So you were
honor
honoring
him that
and-
way. Yeah. But it was very cathartic. The writing of it felt really good. The part that I didn't think through was, as the editor, I had to rewatch this movie so many times, and that was rough. There were lots of times where I'm editing and just started crying, and my fiance's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I just can't watch this anymore." But it was an interesting experience. I don't necessarily, I do recommend it. I recommend making art out of your pain. I think making art out of your life experiences is the most powerful. And this is the most nerve-wracking. I've made quite a few short films, but this one every time I see it on the big screen, my stomach sort of twists and I get all, normally I'm like not nervous at all, but you guys were great. You laughed at everything. Thanks so much.
And kudos to you too, because that's, if you know polarity, taking something. I could see why you're a comedy filmmaker and why you could handle grief well, right? Like it's the same way Jordan Peele is great at comedy,
Yeah.
and then can transmute that and turn that into horror, because it's just reverse engineering. It's just transmuting an energy and polarity, shifting one thing to another. So
Yeah.
kudos to you on that. It's a great achievement.
Well, thank you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is loud. What's going on, everybody? My name is Lakota Adam Samuels, writer, producer of I Used to Love Her. Yeah, writer, producer. Yeah. And I'm here because, long story short, I was just welcomed into a group to share my truth, share my experience, but also share the opportunity to create with others. And in this process, I'll be honest, I'm shocked that I'm here right now. That's really it. And what inspired me is just to share my truth. And I thought this is something that everyone goes through and everyone will go through. And in this process, I'm here because I got the opportunity again to partner with Kayla, Priscilla, Jabrian, Evan, Barry, Daryl. I'm just a grown-ass kid living a dream right now, and that's why I'm here, and thank you guys for coming out.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kayla Robinson, and I was the director, editor, producer, production designer, and also did the color on this version of I Used to Love Her. And for me, yes, I came into this through Priscilla's Collective, and this was my first time directing a piece that I didn't also write. And so that was a good practice for me, and I typically write projects that are very personal to me. And so to find my own authenticity within somebody else's writing, that was a nice practice, and something that I'll just, as I continue to work on other projects, whether I write them or not, it all started here. And so I thank Lakota for trusting me with his words, and Priscilla for bringing me in.
Hello, Hello, everyone. I am Priscilla Lamb. I starred in I Used to Love Her, also I can't even talk right now. Executive produced I Used to Love Her, and I am so, so grateful to see all these people of color up in here. You know what I'm saying? Holding down the fort.
Hi, everybody. My name is Daryl Merkilo. I'm co-producer of The Reckoning. That didn't show today.
Wait, what are you doing here?
I'm up here for the photo op and to support my brother, Lakota Samuel.
And he is here because when I started my collective, he brought in Lakota. And so Lakota wouldn't have been in his seat if it wasn't for him. So that's why he's up here. He's forever 11th Hour Creative and always loved.
Thank you.
And a great
How's it
radio
going?
voice,
My
too.
name's Evan Lee. I was the DP for I Used to Love Her. This is the best crew I've ever had. Just meeting him and working with him for 12 hours and getting so much done. It was so awesome. It was magic, basically.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Eric Qualls, and I am one of the co-producers of I Used to Love Her and the 11th Hour Group. This is actually my first time producing a short film that's got accepted into a major film festival, so I appreciate Tony and the BraveMaker team for allowing us to be here.
Take that love, Tony.
So, yeah, I'm just grateful to be here, and, I'm proud to be a part of the team. Yes.
Hi, I'm Lucas. I was the grip for I Used to Love Her, and I just want to thank Priscilla and the rest of 11th Hour for including me, Kayla for directing, Lakota for writing, and Daryl Makila, I just want to say thank you for existing, buddy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jabrin Ross. I starred in I Used to Love Her. I just and Miss Waymore. Oh, my bad. I just want to thank Priscilla, Kay, and everybody for the opportunity. This is amazing, and yeah, I'm glad I'm here.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nanak McCann. I'm the writer-director of Rosary and a Diamond Ring, which was the first short today with the two soldiers coming home. Thank you. Film was inspired by my dad, who was a veteran. It's sort of a proof of concept of a longer story. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Taylor Joshua Rankin, and I'm the writer, director, and composer of The Snow Leopard. That was the film. That was the film about the composers and the string quartet and all that. And just to make it super quick, wrote this film to showcase contemporary classical. The world of contemporary classical music and writing. I'm a composer myself, went through the world of academia, and am now making films. The world of contemporary classical composition is a vibrant and niche world, and I wanted to showcase it, the act of composition, not as something that is, you walk off into the forest and take some ayahuasca, and then you come back with your piece. It is a skill and a trade and something that you work hard at, and you hone your skill. And I hope that comes through. Also, something that we tried to bring forth in the film is the idea of lineage. It's a very sort of medieval practice, the composition world. You go in and you study with your teacher, and you think, who did your teacher study with? Who did your teacher's teacher study with? Can you trace that lineage all the way back to the masters that you are studying, and what sort of pressure comes with that? So I hope that came across the film. I am joined today by 3 people who the film could not have been made without. Our lead actress, Sarah Nyman. And our 2 incredible producers, Anna G. Robertson. And someone a lot of you are very familiar with because she is helping run this festival, Caitlin Durkin. And I would like to pass it off to Anna.
Before you pass it off, can I ask you one question since you have the mic?
Absolutely.
Taylor?
Yes.
I want to know, because it's a beautiful, the film is about artists and music and the composition. Did you, the thing we talked about in the Master Your Workshop thing earlier today was about blocking. Spielberg's a master blocker. The blocking in this was masterful. And the timing with the music and the camera and the talent all in this kind of aesthetic cohesion, this dance, this orchestral thing. Like, share with everyone if you could. Was that planned? I'm feeling it was, but I want to hear what was that? How did that come to be? Because it felt so masterful.
Sure. Well, nothing gets my rocks off more than blocking and the choreography of, everyone's laughing at me, and the choreography of people and of actors and the camera especially. So everything was blocked, everything was drawn. I draw bird's eye view, like football plays. Football plays. What the hell am I talking about? Just diagrams. So this is where the camera is. This is where the camera is going to move. It all comes from pulling it from the page and first blocking where the actors move in the space, and how to tell that story. And then comes with the blocking of the camera and the choreography that comes in the dance, as you said so well, between the 2. And this is something that I love to watch and I love to be in dialogue with. And it is
very
heavily
from your
planned,
producers.
heavily rehearsed, and
Can I ask before you do it? What if an actor says, "I want to walk the other way"? What do you say?
Well, everything is a collaboration, so.
Oh, is it?
How was that for you? I'm really just here to say that this was the smoothest shoot I've ever been on. And it was the most highly technical, we're just talking about it, extremely difficult, but we were out on time every day. Just incredibly smooth. It was like a machine, and it was really remarkable to watch. It was like being conducted in a symphony. It really was. Watching Taylor work was really remarkable, and Anna and Caitlin, and I'm so thrilled that I got to be here.
Hi, I think we've pretty much covered it. I don't know if there's anything else. This was a really special project. This was probably the most challenging film project that I've ever produced, just because of all of the very technical blocking, the long takes, and I really feel so proud of the crew that we brought together, who are pretty much all Bay Area locals, and really just rose to the occasion to make this happen with no money, and really amazing. So we're so thrilled to be here. It was our first time seeing it on the big screen, and thank you so much to BraveMaker and Tony and Caitlin for all her work setting this up.
Hi. Hi. Hello. Okay. I'm on 2 hours of sleep for the 4th night in the row, I think. So if I seem weird, yeah, I'm weird. That's what's happening. Hi. So I think the question is, Do we have anything else to cover?
Oh yeah, maybe can I lob a ball to you? That
Yeah,
you can just swing at it. Is what's your why? What do you look for? You know, we were talking last night under little sleep and maybe alcoholic persuasion. What is your why as a producer, and what kind of producer are you, and what do you look for in directors? Asking for a friend.
Just a small question, not a massive question at all. My why? I mean, there's many, but
Well, your best why in 60 seconds.
okay. No pressure. Telling stories that are original / not been told before / taking risks. I think that's huge in our industry, and I personally get excited watching something that I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen this before. Let's try that out. Let's see how this goes. And I feel like y'all killed it. So stoked on how everything came out. Yeah.
And what drew you to Taylor's vision then, and shepherding that?
Technically, Anna.
Yeah, so I actually came onto this project first, and Caitlin joined me, and could not have done it without her. But what drew me to this project was primarily that, Taylor's a composer, and it came with this built-in score that was so stunning and tied into the plot, which was something unique that you don't see a lot in kind of low-budget indie short films. And also just kind of, the film talks about the experience of, being an artist under patriarchy, the way I see it. And, we work in an industry that's very male-dominated. Caitlin and I have both had our own experiences that we kind of brought pieces of to the film. I'm sure, Sarah, your performance, there's real rage in there. So that's what drew me to it, was kind of this story, just exploring kind of the darker side of this paternalistic kind of mentorship that we're so often set up with.
That's great. And I'm gonna open up a question to everyone else here, and I want you to think about it. Because we are limited on time, and because I am eyeballing. I see Nadia sending her eyeballs at me here. Is any unique story that was unique to your production that was an obstacle or problem you had to solve, and what you learned through that process? So think of that, and I'll just kind of have only if you want to volunteer, raise your hand. But Caitlin, before you pass it over, because you were the liaison between this film and BraveMaker, since you took on with Taylor, why did you take on with Tony this first time in BraveMaker? What drew you to producing your first festival?
Oh my gosh. Wow. I haven't been to a film festival at all since 2013, South by. So whole different world. I met Tony not that long ago, and from meeting him through a screening, for some reason he's like, hey, you know how to do stuff, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. Here we are, trying to sell my 60-second situation. Really, no pressure, and I'm thinking about the time. So, wow, thanks, guys. Yeah, I'm gonna get away.
Okay, so since we gave Snow Leopard a lot of love, and give Snow Leopard a big round of applause. I loved it. Any other production here? Any specific unique challenge? We can all say what camera you shot on or whatnot, but what's something that was unique to your production?
Yeah, we shot the film during the pandemic, and actually, we lost my grandfather. We lost a loved one right before we were about to start shooting, and there actually was a production baby. So we had death and life and tiny lesbians, but. We were all very motivated to make something fun and something enjoyable, and the idea was that, during the pandemic, I was kind of nostalgic for old films that made me feel better. And I would watch these films, and I would look to see myself in them. And they're fun films, but I'm never seeing that gay Latina that's gonna, shrink their family or go back to the future. And I wanted to make something that I could share with audiences that felt nostalgic and fun, and that we are more than just our sexuality. We're like, our identity is complicated, and relationships are complicated. And when you can throw some sci-fi in there, all the better, because genre helps bridge the gap between audiences, and especially if you want that audience to identify with that character that maybe is identified as the other. And so it was a fun production. As you can see in the credits, we are a small, scrappy crew, but we really enjoy working together, and it's just more things to come.
Thank you. One more story, because Nadia's telling me I got 5, so I want to make sure. I'm going to open up to the crowd for a Q&A question, and then we have the grant that we're going to give out.
I think this is an unsaid challenge, but I think for us, it was the fact of dealing with different talent with different experience levels. Like, you have people that's been in this game for like 5-10 years. Then you got myself that's just showing up, you know? So just having the patience to deal with people from different levels, either it's their ego or the fact that they don't know what to do at the right time, and having that patience and care, but also having the ability to actually guide and coach different levels of people to coordinate with each other was definitely an unsaid challenge, but it was dealt with beautifully.
And with that, let's open up to the audience. We'll take 2 audience quick questions here. Anybody in the audience have a question? Raise your hand.
I would love more about the blocking and the actors. Like you said, it was a collaboration, but like as an actor was it so constructed to where they found themselves in what you designed? Like I guess for both of you, like it's such a hard thing where you have to make it to the wine bottle. But what you're talking about is so much more complex and so much more thought through. So as an actor, were you finding yourself inside of the blocking? And when you had a challenge where you're like, that isn't organic, because when I just did that, I wasn't fucking there. Like, how was that for you? And how did you guys work through that? And if that needs to not be shared, I understand.
No, I never found it constraining or restraining at all.
Yay.
I don't know. I never really thought about that until you asked it. It was just so remarkable when we did the very first shot, when we were all in that giant auditorium, and there were lights happening, there were different people moving, that was snow that the crew flew in and shook a box and had the snow fall, and Taylor was just going A, go, red, go, 1, go, and he just had everything go, 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 and that was the first day we shot, and that's when I was oh, fuck. This is gonna be crazy. But it was just, I don't think it took away from the emotion or anything. It just added to you just turn that pressure into the emotion that you're supposed to be, and just I was just in awe of him the whole time, so I would use that.
It almost feels like the film transformed into stage almost. I don't know. Yeah, something of that nature. That's so cool. What do I do with this? There we go.
We have another mic or no? Oh, here's the mic. Nadia, do I have one more Q&A question? Can I do one more before the grant?
Yeah, the question for Snow Leopard and What Up, Evan? That was nicely shot. Good to see you, man. Yeah, so for Snow Leopard, I know Josh, and that was a beautiful film, and we could talk about the cinematography all day long. It was gorgeous. But my question is about the location. Did you shoot that all in one location?
So there are 3 different locations in the film. The very first shot is in San Francisco. That's at the San Francisco Conservatory of Music, their large auditorium space. All of the stuff that's set in the mentor's house, that's in the Oakland Hills, that is a gentleman's house. Robert Greenberg, who is a composer and educator. He does the PBS Great Courses series, where he educates on composers, and I knew him, and so I reached out to him, and we had an hour-long meeting, and he had been, we were all coming out of the pandemic, and he had been wanting to look for an excuse to entertain people and entertain creativity in his space, and he gave us his entire house for free. And that's not just for free, the production dates, that's for free, hey, Rob, can we come and do rehearsals, in an hour with people? Hey, we would love to shoot a previs version of the entire film. We did this twice because there were updates in the script, so we had to re-previs thing. Yes, third location was, I could go on, go. Yeah, exactly. Here we are. Third location was, we did pickup shots at Tiny Telephone Studios in Oakland. That's some of the inserts, the dreamy string quartet playing against dark background inserts, pickups at the end, and the lineage montage. Anyway, thanks.
So maybe a good segue of this is what we're talking about too. And lineage it could be a negative way or a positive way, right? We talk about diversity and inclusion and what BraveMaker stands for in every single way. And we can look at our lineage. A lot of us are in this room because we came to this country or people invaded our country, right? We ended up here in our space. We were forced to be here. Somebody dragged our ancestors here, or we came to be here, and we were not allowed to be here. But this is what this country is. This is what BraveMaker is. It's about accepting everybody. And we cannot control what's happened before us. And what I've learned, and if I can share this, and this maybe is the last few minutes of brave making so that I can just go have a drink at the open bar, is Elizabeth with brain cancer and watching someone you love so deeply go through brain cancer is not anything I would wish on my worst enemy. And what I have learned, whether we are forced to be here in this country or we come here and nobody wants us, or you lose the person that you love, is that you have to be brave, and all you can control as a human being is your response to what happens. And you can transmute that energy, you can find the polarity, and you can do that in some way or form. And so with that, I want to thank the BraveMaker family, Tony, Caitlin, Jessica, and Priscilla, everyone here, and I apologize if I don't name everyone. Devin, the liaison, the double spy from BraveMaker and Girl of Wanderers, Kenneth, Alex, Max, Estevan, Karina, Ray, Bashoy, Jeff, everyone that's here, and I apologize if I don't name anyone else. But to share in that's a powerful thing that you learn, is how you can cultivate that within yourself and within other people. And to speak on Elizabeth before we hand out this grant, what she stood for is she taught me what love is. She asked me if I would ever find love in my life again. And it's hard to tell your dying wife that I will try, but I tried to share, and because we were always honest with each other, is to, I said, as she was laying there sick and she could not move her body, I said, if I found love again, it would not be in spite of you or to replace you. It would be because of you, because you taught me love. And my lovely girlfriend and very supportive partner, who's also a BraveMaker. She came here from Azerbaijan, and she's been very supportive in my grief as a widower. I'm able to give and receive love, not in replacing Elizabeth, but because of Elizabeth. And I'm able to be here because of also my friends, because of Fadan, because of my friends, because of Tony. In my grief, he came and saw me, and I couldn't be around people. And he was there, and I'll always be forever loyal to him. And all I knew, a mantra that I had when I couldn't move, when I was frozen, when I was feeding the dark wolf, was to move forward with love no matter what. And so, there was a period of time where the dark wolf, and I wanted to kill myself, and I said, I promised her I wouldn't do that. And I said, if I can transmute this in some way, I will be a force for good, and I will help other people, and I'm happy to do that. And for those who are in this room who have lifted me up, thank you for teaching me what community is.
Thank you, Tony, for teaching me what leadership in community is. And for those who couldn't be there for me or weren't ready for it, thank you for also teaching me who I don't want to be. Because wherever we are at, we are learning, and all we can choose is our response. We can react or have a response. And so with the Elizabeth Mitchell McCarthy grant and giving it out, and we're only allowed to give it out one time to a producer.
Well, there won't be repeat grants.
Yeah, repeat grants, yeah. So it's selecting and cultivating. And if you donate tonight, it contributes to the next Elizabeth Mitchell McCarthy grant. And so Elizabeth, I can say in that and what I shared personally, and that's a hard step, but what I learned from everyone here in this room, what I've learned from all the brave stories, there's a thing called the mirror neuron in your brain. It's what makes you feel good when you have some kind of scientifically feel a sense of completion, whether it's a story, and seeing how a movie ends, a book ends, seeing a touchdown, or whatever you watch online that has some sense of completion. That whatever it is, you need this thing to have a completion. So whether you are ready to step up, it's not to call out people who aren't brave in what I'm sharing in this, but it's actually to be, there are people who are not ready to be brave. But if you step up and be brave, like Tony, like all the BraveMakers here, then you are teaching other people through their own mirror neuron of who they want to be. And you're being an inspiration, a seed planter and a cultivator. And you could be doing that by volunteering here at the festival, by donating, by making a film that has an impact. And obviously Elizabeth had a huge impact on me and will always for my life. And she taught me that I will always love and miss her. And she taught me that I can always be open to giving and receiving love with my girlfriend, with my friends, my family, my colleagues, my community. And so it's with that I looked for somebody who would embody what Elizabeth would nurture, because she nurtured douchaholics. She nurtured projects we did. And so I was quietly asking and talking with Tony and seeing who would be the right fit for the first person. And so should we just announce it?
Yeah.
So for the Elizabeth Mitchell.
It's $500. Don't get too excited.
But if you donate more, it'll be $1 million.
That's right.
Nope, million.
Yeah. Let's say it on the count of three. 1,
2,
2, 3.
3.
Caitlin Durkin. Come up here. Because we're not fancy like that yet. We don't have like a statue, but come up here. Caitlin did get hardly any sleep, like all of our producers. Did get a day rate, for her 4 days, but she did way more work than that. And as Sean and I were trying to make this possible, I said, just check out Caitlin, see what you think. And he came back and was like, oh, heck yeah, perfect fitting. So $500. Yes, we want you to be touched. We're grateful. We want to grow this team, and we want to grow the memory of Elizabeth Mitchell McCarthy. So if you feel led to want to give, y'all, we're a small little organization, but we want to get the money out there. We want to see. You should not be living in a tent when you're working on Top Gun Maverick. She had to work in a tent. I'm sorry. Oh, don't tell people that. Okay. Anyway, a lot of filmmakers can't even afford their rent, y'all. We know this is true. That's why everyone's striking in LA. So, first year ever, Elizabeth Mitchell McCarthy grant. All right, give it up. Give it up for all these filmmakers. Give it up for Caitlin.
And what she said was key. She says, I look for stories and helping shape that story and helping shape visions and helping cultivate that. And that's what Elizabeth did. And that's just the signs of a great producer, because it's never about the me. Whether you're directing, producing, DP, editor, whatever, it's about the we. It's never about the me. It's about the we. You'll go from good to great no matter what you do with that. And with that, again, anything else?
Yeah, let me close with this. If you'd like to give in the name of Elizabeth Mitchell McCarthy, talk to me directly, or you can use that same link, the word BraveMaker to 44321, and put that message that says you can donate in someone's honor, and that's what you would do. or you can go to our website and do that. But we're going to go to the closing night party, but I can't move forward again without thanking our co-producers, which Caitlin was one, and Devin and Jessica. Can we give it up for our co-producers? They hustled. They worked so hard. Our donors and sponsors. 31 people gave every month as of yesterday. Now we have 32 people who give. Yay, one person joined. Our media team, the Strathies and Guerrilla Wanderers, thank you so much for capturing all this stuff to live on and so people can find out when they're not here what we're all about. To our amazing theater manager, where's our lead theater manager? Nadia Flamenco, who's saying wrap up, wrap up, wrap up. And Art Spell, who was being mentored underneath her. Thank you so much, Art and Nadia. Our hub managers, Amy, Natalie, and Tara. Tara came all the way from Alabama. The Cohens came all the way from Texas. People are coming out to make this a destination experience because of what you are doing and the stories that you're telling on screen. So thank you so much for doing that. Our volunteers, if you are a volunteer, raise your hand in the air, raise your hand in the air. We love you. We thank you. We can't do this without you. I have you, Isolda and Sophia, our still photographers that captured everything over the course of the 4 days. Our interns, Gabriel, Becky, Sophia, Sienna, and so many more. Our VIPs, how many of you met Lodrick Collins from BET's The Oval? Craig and Steph from Minnow Mountain. They're in this room, I believe. Nicole Levy, Angela Harvey, Solomon Hughes, Tristan J. Schuler, y'all. How many of you met Tristan J. Schuler? There's so many more people. Let's go to the red carpet, take your final photos, then we'll go to the hub and party. And if you want to clean, we'll be there tomorrow and Tuesday, okay? Brave stories change the world, and we are the story. We, let's do it. We. Bye.